welcome to Coffee, Crafting, and Cats with the Ginger Cat Lady. I'm Pam, the lady part of the Ginger Cat Lady. The plan was to have Harley, the cat part of the Ginger Cat Lady. Right here, he obviously is a ginger cat. But Harley had different plans. He's a 4-month-old kitten, and he decided that it was time for a nap. So he is over there in his bed right now. May make an appearance, hopefully not, because again, 4-month-old kitten and tons of energy. So let's keep our fingers crossed that he actually stays asleep. Besides, I would have to battle him for my coffee. The cat is addicted to coffee. I don't know what the deal is. All right, enough jabbering. Actually, no, a little more jabbering. Sorry about that. This is my very first YouTube video. I retired from 25 years of teaching last Friday. I have been an avid scrapbooker for many, many years and just started doing some journaling in the past year. And people who have seen my journals, people that I've made the journals for, have said, you really should sell these. So I thought, well, I'm retired. I have plenty of time on my hands now. Might as well try it. So I am going to dip my toes into the water and test it and see how this whole thing goes. So to start with, and another thing, the reason why I am starting today is because today is the first day of the 100-day project. And I know that Margaret over at Seven Plaza started her very first video on the first day of 100-day project a few years ago, and gained quite a few followers from it. And so I was kind of hoping that maybe might work. So Margaret, you can try and follow in your footsteps. Let's see if it works. All right, so enough about that. Let's talk about what we will be doing today. I wanted to make a journal to house different ideas. Because I come from the scrapbooking community originally, most of my layouts were always arranged around the photos and not just arranged and then things placed there later. So my plan is to create a video, to create a journal that will house ideas that I can then go to that book and use the ideas from that book to create journals to sell. Heather and Jan has what she calls a big book of ideas. And so that's kind of the concept that I was going by. She created hers, though, I believe from a cereal box, if I remember correctly. But I wanted to try making mine out of an Amazon bag. So I've got my Amazon bubble mailer. I've got my fabrics that I'm going to cover it with. This is an old form of Mod Podge Royal Coat decoupage finish that I've had for a very long time, so I figured I'd use this up today. Brush, something to pour the decoupage in, scissors, and then I will be using my sewing machine, but not on video, sorry, because it's on the other side of the room and there is no way to do that on this side of the table. So let me get this all cleared out and I will show you what I've done so far. All right, so I started, hold on, important thing, coffee. Alrighty there. Okay, so this started out as a Amazon bag, or mailer envelope actually, that was one big bag. I cut it in half because I don't need the whole thing, and that's kind of cool because now I can get 2 journals out of it. I cut this part so that it would take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with a little bit of overlap on either side. So I cut it to 9 inches so that it's got that 1/4 inch on either side, and then left the length of it the same. Okay. I then put some white acrylic paint on the black parts so that it didn't show through my fabric, because the fabric that I'm using I didn't plan far enough ahead, which is typical Pam, and to order fabric. So as I was looking on Amazon to try and see what I could get delivered today, because of course I didn't think of it until last night, I couldn't find fabric that I liked. But when I put muslin in to search for just some muslin to cover the inside, I came up with swaddle blankets for babies that were muslin, and that's exactly what these are, swaddle blankets. So this beautiful floral fabric will be the outside of my blanket, and then we will use this sage green ticking fabric for the inside. Okay, so like I mentioned before, I cut the envelope down, I glued this part, and then I glued here, because obviously when you cut it apart, you have a great big opening, and then you have this part open as well. Okay, I had thought originally of making a pocket here. I saw Barbara at 49 Dragonflies do something similar with a paper bag that she was doing it with, but I figured for my first journal on YouTube, I wasn't going to get that fancy. So, I'm sorry if this is a little crooked. I'm having difficulties getting my camera to cooperate with me. All right, there we go. Hopefully that'll stay there. Okay, sorry about that. Hope I didn't make you seasick there. So, I guess the next step is to cut the fabric, since I've already got this cut to the shape that I wanted, glued, painted, dried. Okay, so so my plan is to, I like the frayed look of the fabric, so, and it looks like this fabric is directional. Of course, leave it to Pam to go and find something like that as well. All right, so if I do it this way, my poppies, I'm assuming that these are poppies right here. They look like poppies to me. I'm not sure. Maybe magnolias. I don't know. I'm not a flower person. I'm sorry. All right, so let's get this so it's going this direction. I want the frayed look, so when I cut this, I'm going to also cut along this edge right here to take where they've already hemmed it off. So let's get the journal, or the base of the journal here. Over here, we're going to stick it there and there. And I want it to, I want the phrase, or the frayed side, to kind of stick out a little bit. So I want to leave a little bit of an edge all the way around so that the fabric will fray and stick out. Words are difficult for me today, sorry. All right. And this is, by the way, my second cup of coffee, so words should not be difficult. All right, so I'm going to mark this right. Oops, close my pen up. And mark it right, let's see, right about there. I'm not being exact, I know. I should probably measure, but I don't feel like doing that today, so. All right. And then let's mark it so that it's like right about there. Okay. All right, where did those scissors go? There they are. I don't know. I'm not familiar with muslin. I'm not sure if it tears easily. I will try, but I'm not sure. Oops, I guess I should have also measured down here. Oh, I am so sorry. I just bashed the camera. Okay, let's see if we put it there. Doesn't feel like things are cooperating with me here. All right, if I put it there, then I want to start cutting like right about here. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get this puppy to rip, and if it won't, then I will just cut it. All right. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. All right. Oh, of course it doesn't. Okay, well, let's see how straight Pam can cut today. It's kind of nice though, because I don't know if you can see the little, there's little lines right here in the fabric. So I think if I just kind of aim for about halfway in between those, that we should be okay. If my scissors want to cut. These are very old scissors that have been used on everything. Well, not everything, I'm sorry, that's a lie. I specifically for paper, but they're still in really good shape, so I figured, why not? All right, so there's that part. And let's cut down the other direction. And that looks like, let's just go down the middle there too, because if it's too big, we can always trim it. If it's too small, we are out of luck. So, nope, it does not want to cut through there. There we go. All right, so we'll just go down through the middle of those two lines again. Let's make sure we don't have other fabric under there. Okay. So I taught in an elementary school for the past 25 years. I started out as a first grade teacher and did that for many, many years. And then I was moved to 6th grade, and that was, I thought, going to be a nightmare. And I actually ended up enjoying it. I did that for 6 years, finally got tired of the eye rolling, and asked to be moved back to 1st grade. Actually, sorry, asked to be moved to 4th grade because the 4th grade team was fantastic. And so I moved to the 4th grade, did that for a year, and did not like the curriculum. And there was a writing test that had to be given to the kids at that time as well. And if I can avoid the testing grades at all costs, I will avoid the testing grades, because that is not fun. There's a lot of pressure. So went back to 1st grade for several years, and then decided to change school districts and moved to a school district that's closer to home. Taught 2nd grade for just under a year because I moved in November. And taught for just under a year, 2nd grade, and then another year, 1st grade at that school. All right, let's see how this fits on our journal. All right, and then when we glue it down, we'll be able to stretch it out a little bit, because I didn't iron the fabric before I started. So, okay, that's perfect. All right. I'm going to use this as my guide for my lining fabric, because I want it to be the same size. I will link, if you like this fabric, I will link the Amazon links down below. I am not an affiliate. I just started doing this, so if you don't use my link, it's all good. All right. So anyway, I taught 1st grade. Then the following year, the neighborhood that I was teaching in at the time was a pretty rough neighborhood, and there were several murders that occurred during that 2nd school year within a mile. There were 6 murders actually that occurred within a mile of the school that I was teaching at. And needless to say, the Hubs was not happy with that. So he said, I think it's time you move. So I started looking into, oh great, this lines up right there, so I don't even have to think. Yay! I love not thinking. Okay, actually that's a lie, I love to think, but anyway. So I decided, oh, hang on, I did not look though, however, to see how far down I need to go. So let's do that here really quick. Let's just make a little dot. Looks like right there. All right. So I started looking for another position within the same school district, because the school that I was teaching at was a little closer to home but it's also a fairly large district, and there was many other schools that I could teach at. So I started looking, and a lot of them were in schools that I didn't want to teach at. And then there was one that came up that was kindergarten, and I had never taught kindergarten, and I swore I would never teach kindergarten. I had no interest in it. And so I didn't want to apply, but I mentioned it to my husband, and he's like, well, go ahead and apply. You know, you may get it, you may not get it. And the really nice thing about it is it was only 7 minutes from our home. So my commute to my prior district was would vary from 45 minutes to an hour and a half one way. So 7 minutes away was very nice. When I moved to the new school, I was able to get a commute that was only about 20 minutes. So anyway, I interviewed for the position over the phone. The principal at the time was very ill. She had cancer. So I interviewed over the phone. I was hired over the phone. The only problem with the position was that it was what they called a bubble position. They thought they might need it. I was the 5th kindergarten teacher. Their numbers were showing that they might need a 5th kindergarten teacher, so they gave it to me. My husband and I decided that if the position went away, they still had to find me another position in the district, so it wasn't that bad. I would still get paid. So I went ahead and took the position and ended up being at that school for 8 years, because my first kindergarten class at the school graduated or promoted from 6th to 7th grade last year. And then this year, I don't know, any other teachers out there, if you've experienced the same thing or not, but teaching since COVID is hard. The kids are different. The behaviors are different. There's just a lot that's very different. All right, it looks like you can see the brown through there, and ooh, a little bit of that white, but that part will be closed up. That's right smack in the middle, so that's not a big deal. And you don't notice it as much with that, so that's perfect. Okay. Excuse me. Ew. All right. So yeah, it just got to the point where I'd been doing it long enough. I'm old enough. I'm 61, almost 62. Financially, we're fine. So I figured, all right, let's retire this year. So that's what I'm doing. All right. So next step, I'm going to put some of this Mod Podge into the bowl. And woo, there we go. All right. Now, when I do this, I don't want to glue it all the way out to the edge. So I'm going to stop and start right about here. The purpose is just to get this stuck, get the fabric stuck enough that it doesn't move when I'm trying to sew it. And I don't want to, ugh. All right. This is what happens when you have had a Mod Podge for a while. You see that little stringy thing? All right, let's get that off of there. All right. The purpose is mainly to get the fabric to stay down in order to sew. And so I don't want to go all the way out to the edge because I really don't want to have to wait for this to dry before I sew. So we're just going to go a little bit towards the edge and then stop there. All right. All right, Editing Pam here. So total rookie move. I was busy recording the video and wasn't paying attention to the camera, and the battery died right in the middle of the process. Of course, I did not notice it until I was finished gluing everything together. Oh, and by the way, here's the infamous Harley. Say hi, Harley. Look. Oh, okay. Yeah, off you go. Okay, let's put you away. All right. So when you left me, when you left me, sorry, when I left you, um, I was putting glue on the bubble wrap, or not the bubble wrap, the bubble envelope, so that I could attach the fabric. I did that. I attached the fabric, and I have sewn the fabric, and now I have my journal cover. So here is my journal cover. I attempted to sew wonky, and I want you to know I am not a seamstress. I can sew a straight line somewhat, but when I attempt to sew a straight line, it goes wonky. I wanted to I wanted to sew wonky lines, and they came out straight. So, whatever. So there's my completed journal with the fabrics sandwiched in between. So tomorrow when I come back, we will do a journal topper, and hopefully this little guy will be asleep so we don't have so much help. I'll do my journal topper, and I'll have the pages ready so that we can, I can show you what the signatures are going to look like and get those taken care of. So thank you for joining me on my very first YouTube video. I really appreciate your, hey, that's not for you to chew on. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you watching my video. Please give it a like, subscribe, watch my videos, share my videos, and help me to grow my fledgling channel. And with that, I will say bye for now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!